Becoming Viksit Bharat by 2047, and operational directives by the Honorable RM. This vision requires the Indian Navy to assume a larger role to safeguard our maritime interests, facilitate the economic growth, and shape India's strategic influence. Towards this, our long-term objective is to be combat-ready, credible, cohesive, future-ready, and multi-domain in all missions capable, networked and data-driven force through self-reliance. The same has been articulated in the Navy's vision document, Indian Navy Vision 2047, and we plan to achieve it through doctrinal tenets, shaping our concept of operations, adoption of latest technologies coupled with tech-enabled workforce, and charting a roadmap for force modernization centered on Atmanirbharta. And how do we do that? The first step towards Atmanirbharta always and is obviously that we align and review our doctrines. The Navy is engaged in a continuous process of doctrinal refinement to remain aligned with the national strategic directions and emerging technologies and the lessons learned from contemporary conflicts. Also, we are aware of all the initiatives that have been taken by the Government of India as far as policy directives are concerned. In the last decade or so, the government has taken numerous measures to encourage indigenization and participation of the private industries in the defense sector. These initiatives include review of the defense acquisition procedure and the defense procurement manual, which prioritize procurement from indigenous sources. Preference has been given for accord of acceptance of necessity under indigenous categories. And therefore, as far as the Navy is concerned, 82% of our AONs in the last 3 years, from FY 23-24 onwards, have been on indigenous categories. The second initiative was earmarking 75% of the capital and 25% of the R&D budget for domestic industries. More than 75% of our budget in the last 2 financial years has been to domestic companies. Almost 84% in the last financial year, and about 79% in the previous financial year. Since this financial year is not ended, I will not give you the figures as it's still work in progress. There has been a focus on make projects. Our priority in Atmanirbharta is now towards bridging capability gaps in marine propulsion and power generation, as well as advanced weapons and sensors. And if you recall, the CNS today morning was alluding that we have got 3 channels or 3 verticals in which we look at Atmanirbharta. As far as shipbuilding is concerned, to float, to move, to fight. As far as the float component is concerned, we have almost about 95%. The balance 5% is primarily due to certain minerals or certain systems which are not produced in India, probably certain ICs, certain technologies which are not there as of now, and which probably will come in the near future. But that is something that's just not available. As far as the move component is concerned, which pertains to propulsion, power generation, distribution, we are at about 65%. And the key component that is missing over here are the generators and the propulsion package. And therefore, what we have done is, under the MAKE scheme, we are now going ahead for developing a 6 to 10 megawatt diesel engine, which is being done by a private company under MAKE 1. And we are very sure, after seeing the progress, that we will have an indigenous diesel engine by 2028. 4 to 10 megawatt, we are looking at a 6 megawatt, which can be upscaled up and down. Therefore, all ships up to the OPV class will be powered by this particular engine. We are also going in for gas turbine generators, indigenization, and also producing a 26 to 30 megawatt gas turbine for propulsion. This is in consultation with a foreign company or whoever wants to part with TOT or develop it within India. So our priority is there so that the second component, the indigenization, will straight away go beyond 90% thereafter. And the third one is fight, wherein there are issues with respect to certain weapons and sensors where we are lacking, but the progress is there and there is a focus, and we hope to do that in the next 10 years or so. The Government of India promulgated 5 indigenization lists in the last 5 years. We have, out of the 218 items pertaining to the Navy in these 5 indigenization lists, 149 have already been indigenized. 149 indigenized, and work is in progress on the balance. We hope to indigenize them in the next few years. This expanding ecosystem driven by indigenization represents India's strategic industrial strength. It ensures that the Navy's future capabilities will be built in India by Indian industry, powered by Indian innovation. We have set up defense corridors. The Technology Perspective and Capability Roadmap 2025 was promulgated last year. Then there was the launch of TDF and IDEX schemes. We have concluded MOUs with institutions, especially the IITs and ISCs and all, to seek technological solutions for our sustenance as well as future technological challenges. Since the launch of IDEX in 2018, over 585 challenges have been taken up across all the 3 services. And I'm happy to inform you that 198 of these, that is about 35%, pertain to the Indian Navy. These initiatives have enabled us to collaborate with more than 150 startups and MSMEs directly, while the overall number is almost 6,000. We are interacting with almost 6,000 MSMEs and startups, a number which is generally not known. AON has been accorded out of these for 31 schemes worth almost 2,700 crores, and contracts have been concluded for 18 cases out of this 31, almost up to 1,600 crores is the value. And the investment is about just 415 crores from the MOD. So you see the value addition that has been done. The government has put in about 400 odd crores. We have got contracts of 1,600 crores, that is 4x, and AON going up to almost 7x. And we will definitely be concluding more contracts in the near future. The Srijan portal, which was initiated by the Department of Defense Production for private sector as far as sustenance is concerned for indigenization, out of the 1,932 naval items, we have already indigenized 402. So it's work in progress, 25% completed, and that's what has been done in the last 3 years. So we have actually actively embraced all these initiatives, and accordingly we have made organizational changes also, wherein we have set up the Naval Innovation and Indigenization Organization, or NIO, which is our technology and indigenization incubator. Additionally, our Technology Development and Acceleration Cell, or TDAC, Directorate of Indigenization, and the Special Task Forces, which the CNS alluded to, closely collaborate with startups, industry, and academia to handhold tech development and build innovative and indigenous solutions. Then we've got avenues like Swavalamban, where Indian Navy's Innovation and Indigenization Seminar, which is used to develop advanced capabilities like drones, counter-drone systems, autonomous systems, underwater vehicles, boat swarms, directed energy weapons, etc. In addition, we are also looking at reviewing our doctrines, and therefore the recently released Indian Maritime Doctrine guides the Navy's approach to capacity building, operational preparedness, and integration with sister services to operate effectively and prevail in a contested, uncertain, and continuously competitive environment. Today's competition unfolds in gray zones marked by persistent coercion, disruption, and influence activities that fall short of declared war but carry strategic consequences. And therefore, protracted conflicts persist alongside brief, high-intensity engagements, and we are tuning our future responses based on doctrinal concepts also, as far as this is concerned. This convergence of enduring contestation and episodic violence demands a force posture that is continuously prepared, strategically agile, and operationally integrated across all domains. The Navy has nurtured indigenous design and warship building program since the late 1950s, when INS Ajay, the first indigenous built ship by JRSC, was delivered in 1960 at Kolkata. I'm not sure how many of you are aware of this. And since then, the Navy has transformed from a buyer's Navy to a builder's Navy, with the capability to design, most importantly, design and build ships across the spectrums of size and complexity, from aircraft carriers to destroyers, stealth frigates, to submarines, and even nuclear power submarines. Today, this commitment has matured into one of India's greatest defense industrial success stories. And from the early 70s, vessels such as the Nilgiri class to complex in-house designed warships such as the latest aircraft carrier INS Vikrant, the Navy's ship design journey reflects a steady march towards self-reliance and technological sophistication. In the recent past, our warship building has evolved with the adaptation of latest technologies and construction as far as design is concerned also. And there has been significant focus on optimizing space, developing novel hull forms with improved stealth capabilities, and imbibing modular construction techniques, incorporation of generative AI in ship design, integrated systems, engineering, digital twins, integration of VR, AR, and sustainable marine technologies. The Navy is also progressing in a mission mode towards integrating AI-based diagnostic tools and testing facilities. From a modest beginning at independence, we are now a modern blue water Navy with comprising over 140 ships and submarines. Significantly, the majority of these platforms have been constructed in Indian shipyards. And more importantly, as the CNS alluded again, all the 50 ships currently under construction are being built in India. This not only reflects our commitment to self-reliance, but also the growing strength and maturity of our shipbuilding or warship building ecosystem. There is an issue with shipbuilding, but I'm specifically focusing on warship building. And apart from the 50 ships that are already under construction, acceptance of necessity has been accorded for 75 ships and submarines. All of them will be built in India in the next few years with a total amounting to about almost 2.5 lakh crore rupees. And there is a further windfall as far as we are concerned, because we have calculated and analyzed that for each rupee that is spent by the shipyard in the shipbuilding assets as far as the Indian Navy is concerned, the trickle-down factor is almost 6 times as far as the Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 vendors are concerned, and the employment factor is almost 2 to 3 times. So that is what is this warship building capacity and capability putting back into the Indian economic ecosystem. Going beyond platforms, we are also pushing self-reliance to a most grassroots level, what we call Atmanirbharta at the component and sub-component level. Vikrant, which stands as a powerful symbol of India's technological capability and industrial confidence, had about 76% indigenous consent. We are making further progress on this front with the ships being commissioned today carrying more than 86% of the indigenous content, as indicated again by the CNS in the morning. Atmanirbharta at this level helps us to upgrade on the go with successive ships of the same project witnessing technological upgrades. For instance, INS Anjadeep incorporated hydrofoils as a propulsion enhancement, reflecting our commitment to continue evolving even within our project. So that's the 6th of the 7th ship, and we changed the propulsion as far as modernization and Atmanirbharta is concerned. It needs no reiteration that technology has become a diverse and decisive element of power, shaping every aspect of conflict from decision-making to execution. To stay ahead, we must adapt and adopt these cutting-edge technologies to ensure that indigenous tailor-made solutions are developed to meet our operational requirements. Space-based systems, artificial intelligence, autonomous systems, and network-centric operations are redefining military capability. The Indian Navy is actively embracing these technologies to enhance operational effectiveness and future readiness. Gentlemen, we have been behind the curve in almost all the technologies that we see today. But we have to look ahead and identify technologies where even the world over we are at TRL 2, TRL 3, and let's get on to those technologies. The Indian Navy is identifying those technologies which will mature to TRL 7, 8, 9 in the next 5 to 7 years, and we need to catch up with them. This is the time to do it. We have all the wherewithal. All we need is a focused approach, and we are looking at those technologies. We are working to integrate artificial intelligence across operational and support domains, enhancing situational awareness, decision-making, and operational efficiency. Towards institution of AI framework and infrastructure, we have established the Indian Navy Incubation Center for Artificial Intelligence, INICAI, at Bangalore in Jan 2023, and commissioned our first AI compute center, Crystal, with state-of-the-art GPUs in March 25. We have more than 50 AI-enabled applications which are being developed today, and it is not that we started now, we started this about 3 to 4 years ago, This is primarily to enhance situational awareness, decision-making, logistics, and op effectiveness. To enable such technology-advanced operations, our network-centric warfare capabilities are also being strengthened. Integrated communication network, data fusion systems, and real-time situational awareness enable faster and more effective decision-making. These capabilities are essential for modern naval operations across vast maritime spaces. Another critical focus area, therefore, for us is the space, where satellite-based communication, surveillance, and navigation provide essential support for maritime domain awareness and operational effectiveness. The Indian Navy is strengthening its space-enabled capabilities to ensure persistent surveillance, secure communication, and operational resilience. Additionally, to prepare for future conflicts, security of data needs to be assured during transmission and also while in storage. Accordingly, we are actively involved in development of quantum networks, which would further strengthen our communication, and quantum sensors to ensure enhanced operational capabilities in the near future. Autonomous systems are emerging as another critical force multiplier. The Navy is progressively integrating unmanned aerial, surface, and underwater systems to enhance surveillance, reconnaissance, and operational reach. We are advancing manned-unmanned teaming concepts, enabling seamless integration between crewed platforms and uncrewed systems. These efforts are guided by Navy's unmanned roadmap, which has been promulgated with a clear, phased pathway enabling doctrinal evolution and capability development. Concurrently, there is also a focus on countering similar threats from our adversaries and others, so that this also remains a core area of our focus. Yes, yet while we integrate these niche technologies, we remain grounded. The Gartner hype cycle reminds us that every new technology passes through a wave of inflated expectation, a trough of disillusionment, and finally a plateau of productivity. We are focused on starting early and navigating this curve wisely so as to sustain these capabilities that demonstrate true value in maritime context. As a result of modernization of our fleet is being now done at a very fast pace. This year alone in 2026, we plan to commission 20 warships across the spectrum from stealth frigates to even survey ships. This would be the largest ever year-on-year force accretion in our history. Next year, the list is about 13 or 14. 14 max, but definitely 13. This surge in force accretion is testament to the maturing of our domestic shipbuilding ecosystem, enabling the Navy's future roadmap. The scale of induction reflects our investments in indigenous design, growing shipyard capacity, availability of skilled workforce, and coordinated project execution. Over the next decade, ladies and gentlemen, the Navy's force levels are planned to grow to 200 plus ships from what we have today, 142 plus, and submarines. Of these, more than 50% would be less than 10 years old. The ships of the future will be larger, more capable, and more technologically advanced, with enhanced endurance, greater combat capability, and improved facets of survivability. Naval aviation arm is also set to expand with technologically advanced new generation aircraft, helicopters, and autonomous systems, enhancing operational reach and effectiveness. A large number of contracts have been concluded or in the process, and our naval aviation will have more than 300 aircrafts by 2030. Including unmanned, uncrewed systems also in this. However, in today's maritime battle space, platforms alone do not confer advantage. Technological edge resides in the minds and hands of a tech-enabled workforce that can integrate, interpret, and improvise in real time. For a modern Navy, investing in people fluent in AI, cyber, space, and network systems is not just support to combat capability. It itself is a combat capability. Towards ensuring this, naval personnel are being trained in niche domains such as AI and data science through professional enhancement courses in reputed universities in India and abroad for the last 5 years. Induction of naval officers with a BTech degree empowers the Navy for such initiatives. The adoption of cutting-edge technologies, modernization of our force structure, and cultivation of a tech-enabled workforce are not parallel pursuits. They converge into budgetary intent and commitment, fully supported by budgetary allocation to the Indian Navy. In just 5 years, the Navy budget has risen from around 49,000 crores in 2020-21 to more than 1.1 lakh crores in the financial year 26-27. With our share of overall defense spending rising from 15% to over 18%. In fact, I recall when I was handling the naval budget in 2015-16, it was 12.5%. So in the last 10 years, it's gone up from 12.5% and about 20,000 capital budget to about 66,000 now, almost 3 times in the last 10 years. That's a growth that we have been able to achieve because we've been able to get the ships out on time in accordance with whatever we had committed. And never ever we were told that there is no budget or there is a paucity of budget. We were always told you spend the money, you will get whatever more you want. Don't worry about the budget. There is no issue with respect to capital budget as far as our capabilities are concerned. At least that is my knowledge in the last 10 to 12 years is concerned. To conclude, ladies and gentlemen, let me submit one enduring truth. Wars are not prevented by rhetoric, but by readiness. Preparing today is not about signaling aggression. It is about denying miscalculation. When preparedness is visible, professional, purposeful, it becomes the strongest guarantee of peace. The Navy is preparing for the future by carrying out threat assessments, refining our doctrines and shaping our CONOPS, and converting these tenets into capability through planned technology adoption to build an integrated force designed for synergized operations across all 6 domains. That is subsurface, surface, air, space, cyber, and cognitive. I think we are the only service which operates in so many domains. In tandem with the goal of Viksit Bharat, by 2047, the Indian Navy is shaping its future today through indigenous shipbuilding, technological innovation, industrial partnerships, and investment in a tech-enabled workforce. I also would end to say that if I take you across the map of India, if you start from the creeks in the west to the deserts of Rajasthan, to the plains of Gujarat, to the agricultural plains of Punjab, to the jungles of Jammu and Kashmir, to the very high altitude of the glacier, to the high altitude areas of almost desert-like mountains in Ladakh, to the extreme jungles and heights in northeast and the Sundarbans. Is there any terrain in the world which is left out, which is not there, in which our forces operate? And therefore, anything that is designed by our people, our young innovators in India today, will have a use case, not only in India, but definitely anywhere in the world. And therefore, when we design for in India and make in India, we can do that for the world. That's all. In the end, all that remains now for me is to thank the Republic TV for this opportunity, and I wish you all the very best in your future endeavors. Thank you. Jai Hind. Shamna Varuna.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ और
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ, स्वाद आया? आया।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
QSMTHE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मम्मा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरी राजा।
First we saw the people dying, the killings, and that's continuing, destruction of infrastructure, and now the economic impact. The economic impact will affect everybody across the world. You know, the price of LNG, cooking gas has already gone up. So it is a very serious problem. We are all going to suffer. So we all have to work to make sure it ends soon. And I hope that led by our Prime Minister, etc., we will work on that.
ठीक है मंटू भेज दे रहे हैं हम। ठीक है ना भेज रहे हैं मंटू। अरे अनु से नहीं होगा। तुमचा कुणाल गेला तो नीचे अजून गाडी पूर्ण होला आता बोलते का गाडी माकळा
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
All right, welcome back, friends. Sunday afternoon, and we are cutting out of all programming to focus on that big announcement that's going to be made by the full Election Commission at 4 p.m. A mini general election, so to say, and the Election Commission going to announce the dates and phases for polls to take place in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Bengal, Assam, and of course Puducherry, the Union Territory. And we are going to be non-stop now till the announcement by the Chief Election Commissioner Ganesh Kumar. Shivam joins me in the studios. We're going to have reporters there on the ground, Shivam. And then, of course, some guests to help us understand and analyze what this election means.
Definitely, we'll get you all the latest updates, and the press conference would be live, and we'll give you minute-to-minute updates and what are the possible outcomes and how this election is going to turn up and how difficult and how challenging for all the political parties who will be engaged in this election this time. We'll get you all the details, but first up, let's have a look at the top headlines of the hour. Election Commission to announce poll dates for Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Assam, Kerala and Puducherry this evening. Iranian Foreign Minister Arakchi confirms ongoing military cooperation with Russia and China, calls them strategic partners. Trump also threatens Iran's oil infrastructure after US bombs Karg Island military sites vital to Iran's oil network. US President Donald Trump calls on allies to send warships, says Hormuz will open one way or the other. Indian Navy escorts LPG carriers Shivalik and Nanda Devi through the Strait of Hormuz amid West Asia war.
All right, that seems like a big breaking news development coming in, Shivam, and that's coming in from Bengal, where Mamata Banerjee, just in the nick of time, just ahead of the announcement by the Election Commission, just an hour before that, has announced a pre-model court SOP for the Bengal clergy. Interestingly, it's for both the Hindu and the Muslim clergy, so to say, the Purohits and the Muezzins, Purohits at the temples and Muezzins of the mosques. And through a post, Mamata Banerjee has said, and I quote, "I am pleased to announce an increase of rupees 500 in the monthly honorariums extended to our Purohits and Muezzins, whose service sustains the spiritual and social life of our communities. With this revision, they will now receive 2,000 rupees per month. At the same time, all fresh applications that have been duly submitted by Purohits and Muezzins have also been approved by the state government." Clearly, there is something building up. Mamata Banerjee trying to hold on to both sides of the political divide, the Hindu and the Muslim polarization that is generally talked about in the context of Bengal. And she announcing, a very secular Mamata Banerjee announcing a pre-election SOP for the Pandits and the Muezzins, or not the Pandits actually, the Purohits of the temples. How many are going to be getting affected? Let's try to understand, Shivam, from our correspondent on the ground. Let's, okay, we are being joined in by Harsha Chandwani. She joins us live from our Kolkata newsroom. I believe she's joining us live from Delhi today. And okay, Vigyan Bhavan, where Election Commission is going to be meeting and announcing the dates very soon. But Harsha, since you have been in Kolkata also, please tell us the significance of this announcement by Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and how many of the Purohits and Muezzins is going to affect.
All right, we'll try to get back to Harsha for more details. But Abhishek, this comes as a portrayal to be secular before the election announcements, to portray themselves, the TMC, as a secular party. And announcements have to be, they are speeding up the announcements because the elections will be declared in a very short while. Just at 4 p.m., there will be announcements of the poll by the ECI.
Okay, I think Harsha is back with us live on this. Harsha, my question was, Mamata government clearly just in the nick of time making this announcement and this decision. How many of the Purohits and Muezzins is going to affect? And obviously this is going to add to the polarization politics in the state.
If we talk about only about Calcutta and only in the South Calcutta region, there are almost more than 10,000 joint Purohits and Masons in the Central Calcutta, in the South Calcutta region. But if we talk overall about West Bengal, there will be many who will be affected by this particular announcement done by Mamata Banerjee. They were earlier getting rupees 1,500 per month, but now they will be getting rupees 2,000 per month. And this she has announced just before the press conference of Election Commission, Abhishek. Right now we are here where the press conference of Election Commission is scheduled at 4 o'clock. She very well knows that there will be model code of conduct, and then no announcement could be done from her side for the for the people of the community who are involved in the social service, the Purohits, the Masons, who are the part of the state government, who get their money as an honorarium for the state government. So this has been announced today, as you mentioned, in the neck of the time, just before the announcement by Election Commission of the election in these states, all 5 states, in which one is the West Bengal. How much it is going to make an impact? It is going to make an impact because overall there are almost 6 to 10 lakh people who are deployed in each and every, let's say, a social community of the social service, and they will be highly benefited with them. With it, if we talk about overall West Bengal, the population is almost 7 crore, and in that 7 crore population already there are many electors who are in the adjudication. The numbers have been deleted also, almost 63 lakhs have been deleted also. Now who are left? In that ones mostly are in North Bengal region and in the Central Calcutta region. Those will be majorly impacted with this announcement of the Mamata Banerjee. But today, Abhishek, all eyes on the announcement of the election. There's a high-octane election, as we very well know. Tamil Nadu, Kerala, West Bengal, Assam, Puducherry, these states, and one UT Puducherry is going for election this month, this year in the month of April. Most of the assemblies are dissolving in the month of May, and therefore this announcement becomes very much important. 45 days time is what is needed for the Election Commission before the assembly dissolves. The preparation are all set, Abhishek. Let me show you at 4 o'clock, Ganesh Kumar along with other election commissioners will be arriving here. Everyone has been talking about the much anticipated number of phases, that in how many phases the elections will be conducted. However, it is being stated that the Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Puducherry is mostly clear that they will happen at least in 3 to 4 phases, Assam in 2 phases. But about West Bengal, there are a lot of speculation, and there was a lot of mulling also, which was done by the CEC after he met political parties in West Bengal during his delegation visit. The political party stated that they want the election to be held in one phase in the state of West Bengal, which doesn't seem to be possible. We're expecting that in West Bengal, the election will happen either in 2 phases or either in 3 phases. There's a speculation which is going around. Lot of nudging was done over the number of phases in West Bengal. Today, there will be a clarity, and also there will be clarity on the number of adjudication electors as well. How many have been disposed from that list and have been added to the elector list? As Mamata has been stating that there's a conspiracy to delete 1.2 crore voters. So exactly what is going to happen of the number of adjudication cases, that clarity also will
Harsha,
from the election commission.
Harsha,
all eyes are on 4 o'clock press conference.
Yeah, we will come to the 4 o'clock press conference in a bit, but just one more question before we diversify the conversation and include SIR impact and other things. My question is this an act of desperation by Mamata Banerjee, or is it very smart move that on the one hand, with the Muezzins, she is consolidating an existing vote bank, and with the SOP to Purohits, she is trying to create a dent in the BJP vote bank?
Act of desperation, Abhishek. We very well know that yesterday Prime Minister Narendra Modi was there in the brigade rally ground, and how the number of Karyakartas and the citizens have gathered there, and at this time announcing something for Purohit, and that to rupees 500 addition to the honorariums, which she has never done in 2021, and also she has not done the same thing in Lok Sabha. Also, she has never considered Purohits as part of her any announcement or giving them a certain thing just before election. But this is act of desperation, Abhishek, because she very well knows in North Bengal region, if we talk about Malda, Murshidabad, Krishnanagar, all those areas, if we talk about now, there are several parties. Her vote bank is clearly being divided by JUP, Humayun Kabir's party, by AIM coming and joining hands with JUP, also by the ISEF, left party leaders and Congress as well. These all are the minority vote bank parties, and she very well knows that in the major sector, with almost so many votes being cut out from the elector list, her vote bank will be heavily impacted and affected. That is the reason why Mamata Banerjee has just now announced this. She has made an announcement for Purohits. This clearly an act of desperation. She's trying that if some part of the urban voters can deviate, if some part of the Purohit voters can deviate, and they can give the vote to Mamata Banerjee, to TMC party. But let me tell you, Abhishek, there are several parts in West Bengal where anti-incumbency is out, and where the urban voters really feel that it's high time that they need the change in the state of West Bengal. This is really an act of desperation which has come just before a day of, just on the day of press conference, and just one day after when Prime Minister had announced 1,000 crore development project scheme for the state of West Bengal.
All right, that's a big development, in fact, on the Bengal politics front, Shivam. Mamata Banerjee there, just in the nick of time. One would say an act of desperation. Another view would be that perhaps it's a very smart move, consolidating one vote bank and trying to dent BJP's vote bank with this one move. Ek teer se do nishan, as it is called. We have been joined in by two political analyst guests on this broadcast, CAV Subramanian. He's a political analyst and economist. And we have YG Madhuvanti. She's also a political analyst, both from Chennai, both lean towards the right. And if I could begin with you, Ms. Madhuvanti, because I'm told you have to leave early. Before your comments on Tamil Nadu politics, I would want your quick reaction on this move by Mamata of giving 500 rupees extra to Muezzins and Purohits of mosques and temples just 1 hour before Election Commission makes the announcement of Model Code of Conduct.
Good evening, and thank you for having me. I think it's very clear that she is acting in desperation, because she knows that she's on a very big losing wicket as far as West Bengal is concerned. And, just 1 hour before trying to play out such kind of tactics and gimmicks is not going to help, because the voter in West Bengal knows what's going on. This is very similar to what's going on in Tamil Nadu also, because the DMK-led Stalin government has, given out 2,000 rupees like this, just gave out 5,000 rupees 1 month ago. All this in acts of desperation, because they know there is a huge anti-incumbency here in Tamil Nadu. So they are trying all that they can, all the tricks in the bag, to see if they can retain their government. But I don't see that happening. And I definitely am sure that the BJP has a very strong hold in West Bengal.
Right. And Mr. Subramanian, what are you expecting in terms of the phases, the dates for Tamil Nadu polls, election commission to make that announcement shortly?
See, except West Bengal, the remaining state and the Pondicherry Union Territory, they will go in a single phase. And probably West Bengal, they will go for a 3-phase election. I think previously it was 7. Now I think after introduction of SIR, after scrutinizing the voters list and removing the duplicate and all those things, I think now we have got a confidence that it can be held in 3 or 4 phases. Definitely it may not be 7. That's what my assumption is. Considering the dates, okay, today I think at 4 p.m. the ECA is going to announce. Probably they need about 40 to 60 days. Taking that, I think the election for all the states and union territory will be held in between from May 1st week and May 2nd week, anywhere between that. I think NEET exams are coming, JP and JEE exams are also coming. So considering those 2 exams which are critical, competitive exams, so I think ECA may fit in the election dates accordingly. That's what my view is.
Okay, yeah, fantastic. Good opening comments from our panel, Shivam, and let's take it forward. What's next?
Yeah, definitely, but I have one question to YG Madhuvanti. Ma'am, you said that this won't be having much of an impact, but this comes as one among the many announcements that are already in place. There's already 1,200 per month for SC/ST women. There is 1,000 to 1,500 rupees for general OBC women that has already been announced. There is a Rupashri Prakalpa announcement that is already in place. So this is among one of the many freebies that has been announced by the West Bengal government. Don't you think it will be an added boost because they know freebies do work in elections in India? Ma'am.
I don't think so. I beg to differ because just by announcing freebies, I don't think you can win the hearts of the people of West Bengal, because the people of West Bengal have seen through the atrocities committed by this government. They've seen through the corruption. They've seen through what Mamata Banerjee is capable of. So the people of West Bengal are not fools. I keep saying this all the time, be it Tamil Nadu, be it West Bengal, be it anywhere. The people of this country want development. And they are seeing development happen wherever there has been a double-engine sarkar, especially when the Modi government takes charge. So I don't think the people are going to, fall for this freebie stuff. I mean, this freebie thing is not going to work anymore.
Okay, we have another breaking coming in while we stay with the guests for their comments because things are building up. We are getting breaking news developments from Kerala, from Tamil Nadu, from Assam and from Bengal. We began with Bengal. Let's go to the next one, which is coming in from, again, staying with Bengal. Bengal BJP leader writes to Election Commission on misuse of CAPFs by Mamata government. BJP alleges misuse. Can we correct the spelling mistake, please? Okay, another breaking. Okay, now, Mr. Subramaniam, specific to Tamil Nadu, is this going to be a three-cornered contest finally for the first time in the history of state politics? Or you think that Vijay might just prove to be a non-starter given the kind of polarized voting patterns we have seen in Tamil Nadu for decades?
See, I would say Vijay is slightly better than Seeman, the non-Tamilar Kachi, in terms of vote percentage. So Seeman is scoring in the range of 8% in the past 3-4 elections. So Vijay may have about anything between 8 to 10. So I don't see that as a three-way contest because, see, three-way contest means you need to have a good alliance. So in Tamil Nadu politics, okay, it's very difficult to go with the single party. That's what the history shows to us also, except to one election where Madam Jayalalitha fought on her own and won the election. Other than that, I think after 1967, the elections are fought on the alliance strength. So that is why ADMK and DMK, election after election, they have been having alliance with Congress. Congress will go to first time to DMK, next time to ADMK. That's what we have been seeing the alliance trend and strategy. So Tamil Nadu people, I think they want to vote for an alliance partner who are strong in the central so that they can bring some good schemes state also. Because this Dravida model, that's what the name claimed by the current Chief Minister M.K. Stalin, is not doing a great things what they promised. Okay, in 2021, when they gave the manifesto, I think you all aware that they gave about 512 manifesto promises, of which only 13% is only fulfilled. To put the number, kind of 68 to 70 only they fulfilled out of 525. But having said that, I think recently also typically what Mamata Banerjee today, she announced about 500 rupees extra scheme to the Purohits. So M.K. Stalin also announced 5,000 rupees. So I will put analogy, when the weaker students are going to appear for exams, what they will do? They'll study in the last 24th hour, right? So that's how these guys are going to do. They're trying to do, actually. They lost all the 5 years, almost 4.5 years. Okay, nothing they have done. So why can't they announce all these schemes, identifying the beneficiaries, who need the money, so who need the investments? Can they do some analysis in the past 5 years and done all these schemes in upfront? So this is typically the anti-incumbency is growing day by day. To beat that, I think they're trying to put some small money in the packet of people. Yeah. I think people are very, very intelligent. Okay, I don't think they're going to come back to power. So both, I think it is applicable to Mamata Banerjee and M.K. Stalin also.
Right, Mr. Subramanian, in fact, it's building up very interestingly insofar as Bengal is concerned. Ms. Madhuvanti, just stay with us. Another breaking coming in from Bengal. Mamata Banerjee, the Chief Minister, after announcing that 500 rupee extra SOP to Purohits and Muezzins, now going with an order to release arrears.
Very, very big development, because one announcement after the other, and she said, I'm happy to announce that our Mati Manush government has delivered on its promise to all its employees and pensioners, and to lakhs of teachers and non-teaching staff of our educational institutions, as well as employees and pensioners of our other grant and aid institutions like panchayats, municipal bodies and other local bodies, etc. Now they will start receiving the ROPA 2009 DNS allowance arrears from March 2026 onwards, as per the modalities detailed out in the notifications issued by our finance department. So this is another announcement, and this just has been announced very short while ago. The press conference is at 4 p.m. She's announcing this at 3:05.
Well, absolutely. This seems like a SOP parade by Mamata just an hour before the dates are announced, and hence the model code of conduct kicks in. More breakings. Can we get more breakings from Kerala, from Tamil Nadu? We have reporters joining us live. I believe Congress has...
Okay.
Assam has, I believe there is a Congress list coming out, and for that, Anirudh is joining us live for more on this. So we are continuing to be getting those breakings. Shivam, take us to the next break.
Yeah, another big breaking from Assam. Assam Congress announces second list of candidates. Now, in view of the Assam Legislative Assembly elections, the Congress party has announced the list, the second list for 23 seats. Along with this, we also have announced, comes from Congress, that they have announced seats for alliance partners, various regions and national left-wing parties on 15 seats. So they have done this announcement for the second list for 23 seats. Anirudh is joining us live for more details. Anirudh, if you can put this into perspective and give us the details of the seats and the main competitive seats where it will be a tough battle for the Congress and also for the BJP. If you can share us the seats, share the sheets with us.
Yes, Shivam. In fact, yesterday the Congress came out with its second list. In the first list, most of the seats, particularly key seats, were announced, including Jorhat, from where Gaurav Gogoi will be contesting this time. And in the second list, we have seen that there are many important constituencies of which the candidates were announced. But yes, again, some of the very key constituencies of the state, like, Bhawanipur, Horbuk, which happens to be a historically important constituency, keeping in view the history of the Assam movement. The Berhampur seat, which is another significant seat, these seats have been left out for the alliance partners. There are 4 key alliance partners as far as the Congress party is concerned, and they have left 15 seats for these alliance partners in the second list. In the first list, no seats were actually left for the alliance partners, or no any indications were given whether which seats will be left out. But yes, in the second list, 15 seats have been left out. In the first list itself, they had announced candidates for 30 plus constituencies, and that also includes Gaurav Gogoi's candidature from Jorhat constituency. Another important thing that has also been seen in the Congress's list is that the influence of dynastic politics is clearly visible. In the first list, we saw Gaurav Gogoi himself being the son of former Chief Minister Tarun Gogoi. Another son of former Chief Minister Hiteshwar Saikia was also in the list that was announced in the first list by the Congress party. There were also sons of many influential Congress leaders who had managed to get their sons inducted in the list. In the second list that has come out,
stay with us. We have to take a short commercial break. We'll come to you for more details because it's very less time is left for the press conference. Everybody is waiting for the press conference. Let's take a short commercial break first, and then we'll come back and give you minute-to-minute updates of the press conference. Coming up, poll body briefing today, just in a short while. Just half an hour.
प्यास बुझाए ठंडक लाए सबको भाई जीरा से MDH का जल जीरा जीरा से
जीरा से असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
MDH
मेरी चिमनी टूट जाएगी। What are you doing?
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
First we saw the people dying, the killings, and that's continuing, destruction of infrastructure, and now the economic impact. The economic impact will affect everybody across the world. You know, the price of LNG, cooking gas has already gone up. So it is a very serious problem. We are all going to suffer. So we all have to work to make sure it ends soon. And I hope that, led by our Prime Minister, we will work on that.
ठीक है मंटू, भेज दे रहा है। ठीक है ना, भेज रहा मंटू। अरे आलू से नहीं होगा।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
First we saw the people dying, the killings, and that's continuing, destruction of infrastructure, and now the economic impact. The economic impact will affect everybody across the world. You know, the price of LNG, cooking gas has already gone up. So it is a very serious problem. We are all going to suffer. So we all have to work to make sure it ends soon. And I hope that, led by our Prime Minister, we will work on that.
ठीक है मंटू, भेज दे रहा है। ठीक है ना, भेज रहा मंटू। अरे आलू से नहीं होगा। तुमचा कुणाल केला नीचे अजून गाडीला पूर्ण होला आता गोटे का गाडी मागवा चला हो 10 ठीक है ना हम बात करेंगे भैया कहीं उधर से हम चल क्या हुआ ठीक है ना भैया बोलेंगे आप करिए आप करिए तो गैस पार्टी गाड़ी जा ही रहा है कौन सा गाड़ी नहीं जा रहा है गाड़ी तो 4 बजे निकला हुआ है आप पता है लोग
All right, welcome back, friends. Our build-up to that big press conference by the full election commission continues. It's happening at 4 p.m. You have the timer and the countdown on your screens, and we are continuing with breakings coming in. Suddenly, it seems all the leaderships in these states have become active in making statements so that they can beat the model code of conduct if they have to make announcements. We saw Bengal doing it. Mamata Banerjee, 2 big announcements there, clearing pensions and arrears and announcing another 500 rupees for Purohits and Muezzins. And now we have another round of breaking. Let's go to that. Shivam?
Yeah, this is coming from Kerala. Another big breaking news coming in from Kerala. Just before the poll announcement, the date announcement, now Kerala BJP is expressing confidence over NDA candidates. Now Kerala BJP chief says the announcement on candidates in next few days. So there is no hurry when it comes to Kerala, I guess. Now,
okay, I think bigger breaking was that he's accusing the left of a U-turn on the Sabarimala temple row. Remember the earlier position? Okay, let's take a quick comment from Ms. Madhuvanti on this. Madhuvanti, you know, the Pinarayi Vijayan government in 2018 took a position that all women should be allowed, all age groups, irrespective of their limitations, they should be allowed in the temple. I believe they paid some price in 2019 elections, in the general elections. Now they are saying that let's have a stakeholder consultation before the Supreme Court. It's hands off, and the BJP flagging it. BJP is saying, oh, whoa, what has happened? Why are you becoming so cautious? Why this U-turn?
See, Abhishek, this is normal for all this entire indie gang. This is the normal modus operandi if you look at it. Just come election, they will all turn pro-Hindu. And after the election is over, they will all call themselves the so-called secular. And they will talk only for the minorities. This whole Kerala episode was something that was absolutely handled in the most immature and dirty way by the Kerala government, if you ask me, because this is a tradition that is generations old. It's not something that came up yesterday. And to try and belittle it and say that women of all ages can walk into Sabarimala is a complete disgrace and a complete blemish as far as the Hindu faith is concerned. This is exactly something similar to what's going on in Tiruparam Kundram in Tamil Nadu. But the minute you know that there is an election round the corner, all these people take a U-turn because they suddenly realize that the Hindus form a majority in this country and that you have to appease the Hindus because you need the Hindu vote. Only during election time. Because after that, the Hindus of this country can be taken for granted. So this is nothing new to me. This is I'm not at all surprised that the Kerala government is doing what it's doing at this point in time.
Also, surprisingly, Madhuvanti, not many people understand it, perhaps that nuance that in Kerala, the left is the Hindu party, it's the Congress which is the Muslim party. And that's going to be a conversation going forward. But coming to a breaking from your state, Madhuvanti and Mr. Subramaniam, stay with us. Interesting there that while all parties are focusing on vote banks of community types, This is TVK making that big announcement there, cashing in on the present crisis of LPG, it seems, Shivam. Let's break that story first.
Yeah, they have decided to distribute cookers, electric cookers, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, electric cookers. They want to distribute electric cookers just because of they want to cash into this LPG shortage, though the government has confirmed there is no shortage. Now, TVK distributes electric cookers to auto drivers. Now, TVK steps up campaign ahead of the polls. Now, this is very big. Now, TVK wants to make a mark and show that, yeah, we are also there and we are also making a mark. TVK using the opportunity of LPG gas crisis. Now, this as a step, they are going to. They have distributed electric cookers. Now, Sharda is with us for more details. Sharda, if you can put this into perspective and share more details. Electric cookers being distributed by the TVK.
Well, as you see, the current scenario in the state of Tamil Nadu, especially with the commercial hotels declining and also domestic, wise though the state government has announced that need not be panicked, but multiple, especially the female home runners have run to gas counters asking for new gas cylinders because the gas cylinders are empty. Using this opportunity, TVK cashed on yesterday evening and distributed 252 electric cookers because there is a shortage of gas cylinders, and these 252 electric cookers were given to the people in T Nagar constituency, where TVK's party General Secretary N. Anand has a huge amount of understanding that he might be standing in that constituency. He might be nominating himself from that constituency. Have targeted T Nagar and distributed 250 electric cookers, especially for the auto rickshaw drivers. Following that, it's not just a TVK that's cashing on in this policy. Just before the elections announcement, we saw the DMK giving 5,000 to 1 crore women in the family, which is the promise done by the DMK in the manifesto in 2021. And if you remember, just days before, AIADMK announced 15 poll promises, 5 on each special day, and all these 15 were monetary benefits for the people of Tamil Nadu, while DMK and ADMK are cashing on the monetary policies as welfare schemes for the state. TVK is now trying to use the LPG crisis and building themselves, because though they promised 8 different plans for women, and that was announced on Women's Day by TVK leader Vijay, there's also a question if only if the party comes to power, this manifestos will become true. But however, as before the poll promise can be done, they're using this particular opportunity to cash in, this particular opportunity to make sure that at least they providing electric cookers to these people would bring in the particular constituency people turn their eye towards TVK, which is a third party apart from the 2 major leading parties, which has been fighting in the last 50 years. I mean, anybody who knows Tamil Nadu's politics understands that the DMK and the ADMK have been the 2 single-shot parties, have been fighting for so many years, and it's only secondary parties and alliance that's been there, and now it's either NDA and India alliance in place, but still DMK and ADMK holds a stronghold. And this brings in a question whether TVK will play a tertiary party in fighting these elections or not. And this announcement comes in a crucial time where Vijay is in Delhi for the CBI inquiry. If you remember the Karur stampede back from September 27, 2025, 41 lives were lost, and today there's talks in the CBI that the final charge sheet will be filed after Vijay's statement today.
Okay, Sharda, you know, suddenly it seems everyone is getting smarter, and they believe that they can really woo the voters only in this manner. So be it 5,000 rupees of Stalin or 500 bucks of Mamata Banerjee, or in this case electric cookers because there is an LPG crisis by the TVK of Vijay. Mr. Subramaniam, your comments on this. I mean, while Vijay is likely to be the third front or the X factor in Tamil Nadu polls this time, and you believe that he's perhaps a little better prepared than the opposition, this move seems like very smart in terms of its timing.
No, they are not thought about the purpose of LPG. Okay, purpose of LPG is to cook rice, and as well as you need the other ingredients, right? You need a sambar and other stuff, right? Curries and all, right? So electric cookers, I think they can do only the rice cooking, if you ask me. So what about the other stuff which are mainly required as a side dish for the main menu? So they didn't thought about it. If they're smart, probably they should have given the induction stove along with some induction utensils. That's what I'm expecting from the political parties. So just for sake of giving, like DMK giving rupees 3,000, as I know that Magalir Urimai Toga is in advance, and as well as 2,000 rupees as the summer incentive. Okay, typically these guys also giving. Okay, but TVK, how long they can give or justify? Because I think TVK is not having a large base or large corpus of providing all these freebies, right? So DMK is having the government's fund. I think they are not worried about borrowing it and giving it to the people. People know that it is only by borrowing they are giving it. Because if you recall that 5,000 rupees they gave it on February 13th, immediately on February 14th, they announced in the newspaper calling for tender for they issued the bonds, the government bonds at the rate of 7.5% as interest, and borrowed 4,000 crores. So 4,000 crores you borrowed and you gave the money to 5,000 crores to the people. Because that 3,000 rupees, the Magalir Urimai, the money given to the ladies, it's already budgeted as a borrowing in the last year fiscal budget. So whatever the money they spent extra, about 3,900 crores, has been borrowed from the people and given to the people. Okay, so we don't need a big political strategist or good politician to do all these things. Anybody can do it actually. So similarly, TVK is also following the same path what the Stalin is also doing, but people are not going to get carried away by this. I think people are very smart. They know that Tamil Nadu has reached about 10.5 lakh crore debt, okay, by 2026, March 2026. And if BMKs, I don't wish that they will come back to power. Somehow if they come back to power, Tamil Nadu will reach 20 lakh crore debt by 2031. If we don't arrest leakages in the government and reduce the expenses, they're going to borrow again, and Tamil Nadu will be at 20 lakh crore.
Right.
I think all the governments, just for the sake of election, they're announcing this. I think people are shrewd enough because of the media awareness now it's going on across India. I think people will give them back in 2026 election by removing them from the power.
Right. Mr. Subramanian, since you have made the conversation so appetizing, mentioning sambar, etc., I would say if politicians are being smart, people can be smarter. So they can take cash from the DMK, they can take a pressure cooker or the electric cooker rather from the TVK, they can take sambar masala from the AIA DMK and still decide where the fiscal bread can be buttered. And I think on that note, we have another breaking. Shivam, right?
Definitely take it from everybody, but choose your leader wisely. That's the thing. That's what the voters should do, and they do that also. Another big breaking coming in from West Bengal. Now, this is Mamata Banerjee again. Mamata Banerjee to cut tickets of 30% sitting MLAs in this election. Now, this decision will be taken after IPAC, the same IPAC, who advised the Chief Minister to field more tribal, women and spiritual contenders in this election to maintain the trust on the government in this light development and cultural project for SC/ST community of Kora, Dom, Kumbhakar, Munda was also announced. So this is a very big development. Harsha is also live with us. Harsha, I want your comment on this. I think that Mamata Banerjee is targeting the North Bengal region when she's deciding to cut the tickets of 30% to MLAs and also focusing more on the tribal belt, on women and spiritual contenders. Is this focus on the North Bengal region this time? Harsha?
And majorly, it's a focus on the people who have been deprived of all the development, infrastructure development and other sort of development in the state of West Bengal. If you see the region of the Bakura, the region of the Purulia, and also the several regions in North Bengal, we have the tea plantation tribals, we have the tribals, the Totus and the other communities like Dom, Kumbhakar, Mandu. We have so many communities over there who have been deprived of all the development in the state of West Bengal. Now Mamata Banerjee is targeting them because she very well knows this election is not going to be as easy for her as a free cakewalk as it was in the year of 2021, and that is the reason why she will be cutting this time the tickets of almost 25 to 30% sitting MLAs. And also what has been advised by IPAC to Mamata Banerjee is that she should field more women voters, contenders from the tribal community, contenders from the social class and the communities who are socially active, the people who are socially active in the society. Those should be fielded and be given tickets this time, because this time the stake is very high, not only in the region of North Bengal but in the region of the Eastern Bengal as well. If we talk about the Malda Murshidabad area, or if we talk about the southern Calcutta region, or if we talk about the East Dinajpur and the region of the Howrah-Hooghly region, everywhere she very well knows that the dent from several parties will affect her vote bank, and therefore she's targeting the vote bank which is not targeted yet, and that's the strategy which IPAC, the election campaign committee of Mamata Banerjee, has decided this time for the chief minister, and we have been expecting that after the first round of meeting of Mamata Banerjee with her election campaign committee, she'll be announcing the leaders, who should be announcing she'll be fielding the contenders who are mostly from this belt and this community soon once the elections are announced. Back to you.
Definitely, definitely. So this comes as a change in strategy, Abhishek, because it's not the same election every time. You have to rethink, re-innovate every time you go to an election, a new election. What's your take on this?
Well, obviously, but you know, in the case of IPAC, it's an agency under investigation, and it's a body under investigation. And remember those pictures. Thank you so much, Harsha, for joining us. I believe you have to go. You can go for those briefings. We have more breakings, and we are going to focus on them. We have more graphic elements telling people and our viewers what's lined up next. Let me go to Mr. Subramaniam. Mr. Subramaniam, when we were discussing last, the smarter people deciding what to take from whom and then ultimately make a call. You raised your finger. You wanted to say something. You had to add something to that.
Yeah, see, in 2011, if you see, when Karunanidhi was in power, that is Stalin's father was in power, so he announced it, just like that, what Mamata is doing today. He announced about 3% sales tax reduction on our petrol and diesel in Tamil Nadu. Okay, so people were sure enough, they got those benefits. But 2011, they removed Karunanidhi from the political power. So next 10 years, they couldn't come. Okay, till 2021, ADMK was ruling that. So people are, I think, they are getting knowledge day by day, and they know that whatever the benefits they are going to get, it should be directly improve their daily income or their employment. If the employment is not increased or the industries are not going to come, it's only by giving a poor cash in their hand. I think these political parties are not going to gain power. So that is what the message we are getting it. I think in the past 6 elections, about 4 elections, wherever they announced freebies, those parties, they are not come back to the power. So barring 2 instances where, anti-incumbency was not there. But predominantly in both West Bengal and Tamil Nadu, you see the anti-incumbency is there. It's dead against the current ruling governments. That is why they are worried. They are actually in the last 24th hour, they are giving the freebies so that at least they can get deposits from the constituencies wherever they are going to contest.
If you go by the number of times that the present government has been in power, so in the case of Bengal, this Mamata government completes 3 terms. In the case of Kerala, interestingly, it's generally a swing state, but the Pinarayi government completes 2 terms. In the case of Tamil Nadu, of course, they have just done 1 term. But before that, interestingly, AIADMK had gotten 2 terms. So if you look at the anti-incumbency chart, maybe some against Mamata, maybe some against Pinarayi. You are saying you are confident that there is anti-incumbency against Stalin, but I don't know whether the opposition is strong enough to really seize the moment. Obviously, consolidation phase for Himanta does not look like there is anti-incumbency, because even though BJP has had 2 terms, Himanta has had 1 term, very visibly visible term there as the Chief Minister of Assam. So what are we looking at? I mean, why are you saying that there is an anti-incumbency against Stalin? There might be, but is the opposition really prepared to seize the moment?
The history of Tamil Nadu says that the DMK has not come back to the power, second term. So that means whenever they come to power, before they come to power, they promise something. They say that they will do a hell of a lot of things. They bring employment opportunities. They bring industrial investments. But after they come back to power, so they forget everything. So they focus only on their wealth creation. So the minister's wealth creation, the first family wealth creation. So they'll be focusing on that. Just after 4 years, 4.5 years, they'll be thinking about people and announcing a lot of freebies. And whenever they issue the manifesto, like in the 2021, when they issued the manifesto, they said about 505 election promises they are given. But nothing they implemented, hardly 15%. I can count on that. even that 1,000 rupees freebies to the the ladies. Okay, they announced after 28 months. Okay, 2021 May 2021 they came to power. They announced it in September 2023, or they implemented in September 2023. That too, because we had a by-election in February 2023. The one single seat where the earlier politician EVKS Ilangovan's son died, okay, due to some heart attack. So the by-election came in February 2023. Because to win that one election, because the anti-incumbency was started setting in there itself. So to avoid that, he announced that scheme, 1,000 rupees freebie scheme to the ladies. So they implemented in September 2023. Okay. So even after 28 months, okay, they are not able to fulfill any of the promises. Now they announced 5,000 rupees. Okay. So I think information has been prepared and consolidated and presented to all the people, including the Patali Makkal Katchi, Mr. Anbumani Ramadas. He has prepared about 60 pages book where he is categorically saying that which sector, how many number of promises he has given, how many number of promises he has implemented. Okay. He says about 69 promises only implemented. Okay. Out of 512, which is about 12.94% precisely. And they're not thinking about any law and or situation. One sitting judge, he gave the judgment saying that because of this lockup death, he has criticized, or he has noted in the judgment saying that only the restrooms in the lockups are slippery, which means the accidents or incidents happening within the lockup is creating a lot of deaths in the lockups, which the government is not ready to take action.
You know, Mr. Subramaniam, one very big factor this election is going to be the SIR and the kind of number of votes that have got cut or removed or deleted or whatever you say. And that's going to have an impact, make no mistake. And that's why I think there is this some trepidation among those parties who do not generally trust opposition. But we'll come to that. Before that, I think Shivam has a question for Sharda on the ground there in Chennai.
Sharda, if you can share the public sentiments and also the issues that concerns the citizens, the locals in that region, and also will the anti-incumbency factor play an important role this time? Sharda.
Well, every time in Tamil Nadu, after 4.5, the ruling party always ends up at anti-incumbency. It is only once in the last 50 years that the AIADMK came back to power for the second time, which is in 2016 when Jayalalitha was the chief ministerial candidate. But after that, every DMK
ending at a point of anti-incumbency. But the question right now that stays in the ground of Tamil Nadu is, will DMK come back to power? And after the election announcement, there's one thing that's very important that Tamil Nadu needs to look at is this particular Karur stampede, the charge sheet which will be filed by the CBI, because after today on 17th, the DMK MLA Sendil Balaji, whom the TDK had been pointing out as the prime suspect of this particular thing, accusing the DMK of what happened in Karur, 17th, he's been called by the CBI and summoned by the CBI for questioning. So it is only after the CBI charge sheet we can actually tell whether it is the drawback of the DMK or the TVK. And on the other side, we have NDA, which is led by the AIADMK. While DMK has already decided what the seat sharing would be, AIADMK and the BJP still is yet to decide whether there's a coalition government or not, or whether there'll be power sharing, what is the seat sharing process. It's all incomplete. So after today, 4 p.m. when the election dates are announced.
What's the possible future for TVK, especially when he's being questioned as we speak by the CBI? All right, we have another big breaking news that is coming in right now at this moment, and it is about SIR. And this is from Akhilesh. The Election Commission has faced questions several times. This comes from him, Akhilesh Yadav's remarks before EC briefing. He says the Election Commission has faced questions several times, whether it's the discrimination over SIR or how the government looted votes in the by-election. These are his words. In the by-elections, numerous questions have arisen. Now, therefore, as the Election Commission is about to announce elections in several states today, the Election Commission should assure that there will be a fair election and there will be no discrimination against anyone, anywhere. And this is a constitutional body, and it is their responsibility that no questions are raised about their credibility. Now, this comes from SP Chief Akhilesh Yadav, who is questioning the Election Commission even before the press conference has started. And he said that EC should assure that it will be a fair election, Abhishek.
All right, let's...
How much fairer should it be?
Let's try to understand what these jitters are about. Let me take this to Mr. Subramaniam. We were having this conversation, Mr. Subramaniam, about the opposition or the parties that are maybe ruling in the states but are in opposition to the centre, not trusting this exercise of SIR, and now Akhilesh Yadav making it so apparent. Just ahead of Election Commission's announcement of poll dates, Akhilesh Yadav making this statement, doubting the integrity of the Election Commission yet again, despite all clear from the topmost court of the country.
See, with regard to SIR, okay, I would like to quote from my own example. So we moved from one constituency to the other constituency. In my family, there were 4 voters. Okay, my father is no more, so his name has been removed from the voters list. And my name, my wife, and my mother, all the 3 names have been restored. So we are given the correct documents, Aadhaar-based documents, everything. It has been restored. That's why if you see in Tamil Nadu, there is no noise at all by M.K. Stalin, the CM. He's one of the key partner in INDA alliance, right? Only the West Bengal, madam is creating a lot of noise. You know the reasons behind that. So she has got a lot of votes, fake votes in the past, okay, from infiltrators, so which we are trying to arrest. I think the BJP government has put a lot of conditions, and that's why the SIR has been brought in. They are given a lot of evidences. You can give whatever the documents you are having to prove that you are residing in this area, okay? And they are relaxing a lot of conditions. I think we are able to see significant duplicate votes and voters who are not anymore due to the death or the migrated to some other countries. So the real person who are going to be there here are eligible to vote. Everybody's name has been registered in the voters list now. I think the only Rahul Gandhi was taking it in the parliament, because in each and every parliament session he will bring new issue, so that he will be the talking point.
Oh, Madhuvanti was there. Madhuvanti, just stay with us. I'm coming back to you on the other side of a very short, quick break. Then we, of course, build up to that big announcement of poll dates and phases by the Election Commission.
Yeah. Just a short commercial break. Don't go anywhere. Coming up next, Election Commission to announce poll dates for Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Assam, Kerala and Puducherry in a short while. In a few minutes. Coming up.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और बरसात, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मम्मा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरी राजा, सबका राजा आर्थिक मसाला।
First we saw the people dying, the killings, and that's continuing, destruction of infrastructure, and now the economic impact. The economic impact will affect everybody across the world. The price of LNG, cooking gas has already gone up. So it is a very serious problem. We're all going to suffer. So we all have to work to make sure it ends soon. And I hope that, led by our Prime Minister, Executive Minister, we will work on that.
Pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे,
केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला
First we saw the people dying, the killings, and that's continuing, destruction of infrastructure, and now the economic impact. The economic impact will affect everybody across the world. You know, the price of LNG, cooking gas has already gone up. So it is a very serious problem. We are all going to suffer. So we all have to work to make sure it ends soon. And I hope that, led by our Prime Minister, Excellency Vice Minister, we will work on that.
ठीक है मंडू भेज दे रहे हैं ठीक है ना भेज रहे मंडू अरे आलू से नहीं होगा तीन तो कुमार गिरा नीचे गाड़ी में पूर्ण वाला गाड़ी माता
All right, very warm welcome. You're watching Republic TV. This is Shivam Dutt Mehta. I have Abhishek with me, and we will be analyzing. First of all, the PC, the press conference, is about to start, and the poll dates for 4 states and 1 union territory will be announced very shortly. Abhishek.
Well, as it happens, I believe the election commissioners are arriving, but you know what to expect. First up, the dates, then the phases, then the arrangements and booths, the deployment, security situation, etc. But typically how it happens that the EC takes it in the reverse order. First, they make the announcement of arrangements, booths, deployments, any novelty, anything new.